What's up, guys? This is TheKephas.
I grew up legally blind, but the people around me told me I was healed. Not metaphorically, healed. They said God would fully restore my sight one day. That was the anchor I held on to. I chased that hope because everyone around me seemed to need it as much as I did. They wanted to witness a miracle. But the miracle never came. And slowly, some of the same people who once prayed over me began to question why it hadn't happened. Maybe it was my fault. Maybe I lacked faith. Maybe I was harboring some hidden sin that was stalling God's hand. That idea broke something in me. Was my blindness my fault? Had I done something to deserve this? It wasn't just pain. It was disorientation. The world I was taught to believe in no longer lived up with the world I was living in. Because here's what I realized. I grew up believing I couldn't live a full life as a blind person. I believed I needed to be healed in order to fulfill my purpose. And that belief set at the foundation of everything I was building. So what happens when that healing doesn't come? At 18, I reached what I thought was a breakthrough. Maybe I didn't need God to heal me in order to live a meaningful life. Maybe true faith was trusting that life could still be full, even if the circumstances never changed. And that gave me peace for a while. But peace built on resignation only lasts so long. I lived alone for years. Couldn't find stable work. Work rehabilitation programs didn't fit, and degrees went nowhere. I survived on assistance and scraped by while watching others move forward. Every path I tried seemed to end in a wall. Eventually, I resigned myself to it. This is just my life. Better make the most of it. And then I met my wife. We got married. We had kids. And suddenly, resignation wasn't enough. I could settle for myself, but not for them. I didn't want them growing up watching their father survive. I wanted to provide, to lead, to build. And now that I had something worth fighting for again, all the old fears rushed back in. Resignation gave me relief, but it never resolved anything. And when love brought hope back into my life, it also brought back everything I hadn't dealt with. If I wanted to move forward, I had to stop hiding from it. The same limitations, the same blocks, only now the stakes were higher. And when things started slipping again, I didn't just feel discouraged, I felt like a failure. Not to myself, but to them. And that crushed me. I started to spiral quietly, internally. What am I going to do? Why do I have to be this way? Why can't I just be normal? I began to hate my blindness. Not because it was hard, but because I felt like it was hurting people I loved. I started to see myself as an imposter, living a life I didn't deserve. And none of this was because my family didn't love or accept me. They did. And they still do. But even with that love, I struggled to accept myself. I was carrying the weight of what I thought I had to be, not just for them, but to feel worthy of the life I had. But after one more string of discouragements from people who didn't understand, I had another realization. I had long accepted that I would be blind, but I still believed I needed to live as though I wasn't. In my mind, blindness was something I had to overcome by pretending it didn't matter. And I was doing that for a lot of reasons. To survive, to succeed, to be accepted. But deep down, I still believed that I couldn't live a full, impactful life as I am. Because I thought that others wouldn't accept me that way. And often, they didn't. So even though I accepted the permanence of my condition, I hadn't accepted that it was part of me, something to be integrated, not fought against. That's when something finally shifted. Yes, being blind makes life harder. Yes, it limits what I can do and how. And no, I don't always have the answers for how to deal with it. But trying to live like I'm not blind is like David trying to wear Saul's armor. It just doesn't fit. It's someone else's template. It's someone else's story. And it's not mine. I'm different. That doesn't mean I'm broken, but it does mean I have to live differently. And not everyone is going to understand that. They'll flinch at my reality, some will discredit it, others will pity it. That's not something I can control. But what I can control is how I respond. I live on the fringe, not fully blind, not fully sighted, not even close. It's a complex place to be, not the hardest, but certainly hard to define and even harder to explain. So I do what I can. Listen, I adapt, I challenge what doesn't work, I offer up the best solutions I can find, I keep moving forward. Not with a guarantee of healing, just with me, as I am. This isn't the kind of peace I once prayed for. It's not the peace of resolution. It's the peace of integration, of no longer pretending I'm someone else. And that's enough, because life can still spring from that. It already has. Wherever you are right now, it can for you as well.
Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, let me know by clicking that like button. And feel free to share it with your friends so they can enjoy it as well. And if you'd like to see more videos, you can subscribe to the channel and click on the bell icon to be notified as soon as new videos are posted. You can also follow me on Facebook, and if you'd like, you can support my work on Patreon. Links to all that stuff can be found in the description below. This is TheKephas. Until next time.